Hi there. My name is Pastor Vance Rains. I'm the lead pastor at First United Methodist Church of Orlando, and this is a midweek devotional for September 8th, 2021. Welcome. This week, I have been reading a book called Me and White Supremacy by Layla Said. It's a workshop that we're doing here at the church. There are several of us, a number of us, who are reading this book to confront the racism that's in our society, but also within ourselves, which is a harder thing to take a look at. It's not just a book you read that's about head knowledge. It's a book that's designed to be read over 28 days. It's got a daily reading assignment. And there's an accompanying journal that gives you an opportunity to reflect on what you're reading, but it gives you very specific questions to reflect on. And to be honest, they're not easy questions. It's not just what do you think about it or how do you understand it, but most of the questions start with the word when. When have you participated in this? When have you contributed to this? When have you had these attitudes? It's meant to be pretty self-reflective and to look at your own participation in racist ideas and racist systems and assumptions of white superiority and privilege. It's not been easy for somebody who's read a lot of these books and who cares very deeply about this subject, not just subject, but the sin of racism in the world. I've had to admit that I've been more part of the problem than I have the solution, and that isn't easy. It's uncomfortable, to say the least. It's painful, and let's be honest. Who wants to be in pain? Who wants to take a look inside yourself and feel uncomfortable with what you see? We don't often choose to do that. In fact, the human tendency is to avoid that. Beginning of the Gospel of John, it says, it talks about Jesus. It says, the Word became flesh and lived among us, and He was the life and light of men. He was the light of the world, but some people prefer the darkness. That's what it says. Well, yeah, no kidding. I can just go hide in the darkness, not look at the things that are uncomfortable. It's when Jesus starts shining a light on the stuff in me that is sinful, that's broken, that's flawed, that I've kept hidden, that I've been blind to. That's uncomfortable. And most of us, when we're uncomfortable, when we're in pain, when most of us are struggling, what we do is we do whatever we can to comfort the pain or avoid the pain. If I have a headache, I take an Advil, right? I want it to go away. If I don't like a conversation, I'll change the subject. If I don't like the song on the radio or the TV show that I want, change the channel, right? I just avoid it. Like, I don't have to deal with this. I don't have to think. If I don't like what the book is saying, close it and pick up another one. A lot of times we just avoid discomfort. It's painful, and we just sort of at a very deep level want to avoid pain at all costs, right? But what I'm learning with this book, and it's not new information, but it's a good reminder, is that sometimes we need to sit with the discomfort, right? Sometimes we just need to let the discomfort do its work. Sometimes, if it's painful, we don't need to avoid the pain. We need to feel the pain. Something I learned a long time ago from a counselor, a psychologist, was that the natural tendency when there's pain in our lives is to avoid it at all costs, right? To go around the pain. But there's no healing in that. That by avoiding the pain, oftentimes we're just creating more pain. That the only time we have healing is when we go right through the pain, when we acknowledge it, and when we stare it right in the face. One time I was visiting with a spiritual director who happened to be a Franciscan monk, and I was talking about something that was painful to me, and I wanted the pain to go away. I wanted him to tell me how to get rid of the pain. And he said, well, it sounds like you're sharing in the suffering of Christ. That's a very Catholic thing to say. I'd never heard anything like that. He says, sounds like you're participating in the cross of Christ. And he was saying it in such a way that it sounded like I was supposed to go through suffering, and that somehow that was a good thing. And so I asked him to explain it, and he said, there is redemption in suffering. That the cross teaches us that God can take the pain and suffering in our lives and bring salvation, healing through it. And so sometimes when we're faced with things that we're uncomfortable with, like I am right now reading a book about racism, my own complicity with racism, the most important thing I can do is not avoid the discomfort, but let it happen within me. Let my heart feel the pain, to be honest about it, to face it, right? Theologically, we would call that confession. It's acknowledging that there is something there, that I have been part of something that is inherently wrong. And then next, theologically, we would call it repentance, to say, I wish I hadn't. I'm facing something that I don't like seeing. I want something to be different in my life. We call that conversion, right? That who I was, I don't want to be that person anymore. I want to have a change of thought. I want to have a change of heart, which could lead to new life. This is all deeply spiritual. This is the mystery of the cross, that we enter into the pain of acknowledging the sin in our lives so that we can be changed and become new people. This is what Christianity is all about, right? This is what we call the Paschal Mystery, entering into suffering so that it can be redeemed, healed, and made new, and we can be new creatures. So I wonder if there's something in your life that you've been avoiding, some painful topic, some brokenness within yourself, some brokenness in your marriage, some struggle you've been having internally or relationally, or maybe it's at your workplace. I don't know what it is. But instead of avoiding it, instead of making a pill to make the pain go away, instead of drinking a drink to just kind of numb it, instead of narcotizing in all kinds of ways, instead of changing the subject, maybe it's time to take a deeper, harder look at it. Let the pain lead you somewhere that you need to go so you can be healed and so that you can be changed and made new. So that's what's going on in my life right now. I'm right now in the discomfort part, but I'm trusting God with the rest. If you're interested in the book we're reading, after I gave it such a great endorsement there, it will make you uncomfortable. We'd love for you to join us. And so you can contact me if you'd like to find out more. Well, bless you, friends. Hope you're having a great week, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.